This is Informer News, your voice of the people. Timeline is Sunday, the 21st of December, 2014. Welcome along, my friends, to another edition of Informer News. Coming up in this week's broadcast, a warning has been issued that a giant asteroid is heading for Earth. Plus, Russia puts out warning about Yellowstone supervolcano. Also, strange sounds heard across the UK. Plus, Orion, the so-called new rocket that will take man to Mars, a contract of biblical proportions, and terrorists plan to down 6 planes over England before Christmas. Okay, into this week's news. Express.co.uk reported Al-Qaeda plot to blow up 5 passenger planes in Christmas spectacular. The threat has been taken so seriously it came close to leading to an outright ban on all hand luggage, a senior insider has revealed. Mobile phones and electronic devices could still be banned from plane cabins, with the threat of a 9/11 style coordinated attack on London and other major cities feared imminent. The warning comes as Whitehall officials admit that a terror strike on the UK is now almost inevitable, particularly with British jihadists returning from fighting alongside the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria. An airport security source told the Sunday Express, "We've been told that 5 planes are being targeted in a high-profile hit before Christmas. They've been waiting for the big one." This following reports from planetxnews.com reported the following. Chile megavolcano field could trigger eruption 100 times larger than Mount St. Helens. This was posted on December the 3rd, 2014. A megavolcano field in Chile has the potential to trigger an eruption 100 times bigger than that seen at Mount St. Helens, experts have said. The Lagoon del Mol region in the Andes hosts a volcano field including an oval-shaped mega body 6 miles long and 3 miles wide, which could produce a massive eruption. Over the last 7 years, an area covering about 85 square miles has been rising by 10 inches per year, uplift almost definitely due to a large intrusion of magma beneath the volcanic complex. Published in the Geological Society of America (GSA) today, researchers say the volcanic complex offers them the opportunity to study a megavolcano before it erupts. Brad Singer from the University of Wisconsin-Madison said, "We've always been looking at these mega eruptions in the rear view mirror. We look at the lava, dust and ash and try to understand what happens before the eruption." This next report that was put out by Eurotimes.net titled, "The Russians have issued a warning about Yellowstone supervolcano." Claiming a grim report prepared by Commander-in-Chief of the Air Force Lieutenant General Viktor Bonarev on the just completed scientific mission of North America, carried out by 4 Tupolev Tu-95 strategic aircraft and 2 Ilyushin 1L-78 aero refueling tankers that electronically swept for magnetic anomalies from Alaska to California, warns that a catastrophic event may be nearing for this region. US officials, it should be noted, characterized this purely scientific mission as a bombing run that came within 50 miles of California, but which their Air Force were able to repel by their launching of F-15 fighter jets. This report, however, states that this scientific mission was necessitated by a severe mysterious magnetic anomaly detected by the Cosmos 2473 satellite on 3rd of June, occurring in the Yellowstone region of the western United States, which resulted in what is called an earthquake swarm. Most important to note about the 3rd June Yellowstone magnetic anomaly, this report continues, are that satellite measurements show it being precipitated by the mysterious earthquake swarm hitting the Brooks Range Mountains in Alaska, and which seismologists are still at a loss to explain. The information relating to the linking of these two events, this report says, was further verified by the United States Geological Survey USGS magnetic anomaly maps and data for North America, showing a strange magnetic disturbance ripple emanating from Brooks Range and ending at Yellowstone on 3rd of June. Both of these areas, it is important to note, being part of the Rocky Mountains that stretch more than 4,830 kilometers, 3,000 miles from the northernmost part of British Columbia in western Canada to New Mexico in the southwestern United States. Of grave concern to Russian military authorities relating to these events, General Bondarev says in his report, was the catastrophic effect they had on the advanced magnetoception inertial navigation systems employed by many US NATO Russian warplanes, which use these highly sophisticated aircraft flight devices. Though no Russian military aircraft were near the disturbed magnetic zone emanating from Yellowstone on 3rd of June, this report says 2 US military aircraft were at its boundaries in the Southern California region on the 4th of June, while this event was still active, causing them both to crash. The 2 US fighter jets crashing on the 4th of June, this report continues, were identified as a US Navy FA-183 that went down when the pilot was attempting to land aboard the carrier Carl Vinson, and a US Marine Harrier AV-8B jet that crashed into a residential community in Imperial, about 90 miles east of San Diego, both of them occurring within hours of each other. This report notes that no civilian aircraft would have been affected by this magnetic anomaly, as only the most advanced military aircraft employ these geomagnetic satellite coordinate flight systems, which enable them to hug the terrain, not unlike the magnetic systems used by birds and insects to navigate. Russia's concern relating to magnetic anomalies, it is important to note, are related to the rapid shifting northern magnetic pole, which since 2005 has been moving at a rate of 40 kilometers, 25 miles a year from Arctic Canada towards Siberia. Frightening independent research from last year, 2013, further warns that this shift is still picking up speed and, according to this researcher, should reach Siberia in at least within 2 years. To view the full transcript, go to my website endtimes23.com, where I've posted the link. There's a live link to my website near the end of this video. RT reported the following: bigger than Apophis, dangerous 300 plus meter asteroid to cross Earth's orbit in 3 years' time. This report from RT.com states scientists have calculated that 2014 UR116 asteroid will fly in dangerous proximity to Earth in 3 years' time. If it collides with the planet, the energy of the explosion could be 1,000 times greater than the impact of the Chelyabinsk meteorite. Vladimir Lipunov, a leading scientist on the team which discovered the asteroid this October, says the scientists now know its orbit and its period, which is 3 years, but they cannot say precisely when the asteroid will approach the Earth. We should track it constantly, because if we have a single mistake, there will be a catastrophe. The consequences can be very serious, he said in the documentary Asteroids Attack, posted on Roscosmos website. The new asteroid, called 2014 UR116, is about 370 meters in diameter. Its size exceeds the famous Apophis, which the Earth can meet in the next decade. The exact trajectory of 2014 UR116 is yet to be determined, but theoretically it may collide with the Earth, Mars or Venus. Its trajectory can fluctuate because of the gravitational pull of these planets. This next report originates from Rense.com and Reuters. The US has heavily researched anti-gravity, says Jane's edition by Bradley Perrett. London, Reuters. The US military may have conducted serious research into anti-gravity based on Nazi studies, a top defense journalist suggested in a new book. In The Hunt for 0 Point, journalist Nick Cook says, based on a decade's research, he believes by the 1950s the US was seriously working on anti-gravity electrogravitic technology which would lift and propel vehicles without wings or thrust. I feel intuitively that some vehicles have been developed, particularly given that there is this wealth of scientific data out there, and the Americans have never been slow to pick up on this sort of science. Cook, the aerospace consultant for Jane's Defense Weekly, told Reuters in an interview. Cook uncovered reports and sightings of a Nazi research device that had been hidden in a remote part of Poland, where it had apparently been supplied with great quantities of electricity, which an electrogravitic experiment would require. Curiously, barely a hint of such Nazi research appeared after the war, suggesting that whoever captured it, probably the United States, immediately stamped it secret, he said. Cook noted that as a respected expert, he is risking his reputation by writing seriously about a technology associated with UFOs, which most scientists dismiss as science fiction embraced by hocus-pocus believers. The United States is known to have a huge budget for so-called black projects because it spends more on defense than can be accounted for by adding up the value of public programs. Informer News has always claimed the United States and Russia have been involved in a secret space program for decades with the help of Nazi and alien advanced technology. In the early 50s, this secret project to develop an anti-gravity flying saucer spacecraft paid off. A prototype craft was developed, leading up to a fleet of these amazing crafts that are propelled by free energy electromagnetic technology, which led to manned missions to Mars as well as the Moon in the 60s. Bases on Mars and the lunar surface have been built and are manned by scientists from the United States, Russia and the Great Aliens. Only the other week, the United States launched the rocket Orion spacecraft, a so-called prototype that would take man to Mars. Do you really believe that this old rocket technology that has not moved on since the Apollo so-called craft that allegedly landed on the moon in the late 60s is the only form of spacecraft an advanced nation such as the United States can come up with? My friends, you're all being duped. That launch that appeared on all the mainstream media news channels was a con that NASA and the United States governments want you to believe in. The real truth: the United States and Russia have advanced spacecrafts that can travel the speed of light. They have travelled out of our solar system with these crafts. They have bases on at least 6 planets in our solar system, as well as the base they set up on the moon. How longer can these leaders keep on lying to us all? Until the people take it into their own hands to get the truth out of these leaders, they will continue conning the people of this planet. The celestialconvergence.com reported the following. December the 1st, 2014. United Kingdom. Last night, Britons from Aberdeen to Devon were left baffled by a series of mysterious explosions which shook windows and disturbed sleeping children. Hundreds of Twitter users reported the sounds between about 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. last night, with many describing the noise as sounding like distant fireworks. But despite suggestions of RAF jets, meteors and aliens flooding the social media site today, no one has been able to explain what was heard. Even the MOD has said it is stumped. And finally, Informer News and Cosmic News would like to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Okay, my friends, you're all invited to join this channel by subscribing to End Times 23, which is a totally free subscription service. You're also invited to add me as a friend on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. If you'd like to drop me a line on my blog, by all means do so. Or if you'd like to join one of my circles in Google+, the links are under this video. All this week's news links can be found on my website, endtimes23.com. There's a live link near the end of this video. Well, that's your lot for this week, my friends. I do hope you've enjoyed the show. I'll be back with you in a week's time with another edition of Cosmic News. So until then, this is your Informer signing off, friends. I'll see you on the flip side. Chile mega volcano field could trigger eruption 100 times larger than Mount St. Helens. This was posted on December the 3rd, 2014. A mega volcano field in Chile has the potential to trigger an eruption 100 times bigger than that seen at Mount St. Helens, experts have said. The Lagoon del Mol region in the Andes hosts a volcano field including an oval-shaped mega body 6 miles. Another edition of Informer News. Coming up in this week's broadcast, a warning has been issued that a giant asteroid is heading for Earth. Plus, Russia puts out warning about Yellowstone supervolcano. Also, strange sounds heard across the UK. Plus, Orion, the so-called new rocket that will take man to Mars, a contract of biblical proportions, and terrorists plan to down 6 planes over England before Christmas. Okay, into this week's news. This is Informer News, your voice of the people. Timeline is Sunday, the 21st of December 2014. Welcome along, my friends, to a news. Express.co.uk reported Al-Qaeda plot to blow up 5 passenger planes in Christmas spectacular. The threat has been taken so seriously it came close to leading to an outright ban on all hand luggage, a senior insider has revealed. Mobile phones and electronic devices could still be banned from plane cabins, with the threat of a 9/11 style coordinated attack on London and other major cities feared imminent. The warning comes as Whitehall officials admit that a terror strike on the UK is now almost inevitable, particularly with British jihadists returning from fighting alongside the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria. An airport security source told the Sunday Express, "We've been told that 5 planes are being targeted in a high-profile hit before Christmas. They've been waiting for the big one." This following report from planetxnews.com reported the following.